Texans off to a fast start before the official start of free agency with several re-signings, including a big one overnight. In the early morning hours, 3 years, $37.5 million for Ed Ingram, their top offensive guard, and $23.5 million of that guaranteed. A signing bonus of nearly $14 million and $20 million guaranteed at signing, the full $23.5 million portion of it that is fully guaranteed by March of 2027. So a guy that really revived his career last year with the Texans after the trade from the Minnesota Vikings. He had been benched with Minnesota, and now the former second-round pick from LSU, back with the Texans, wanted to stay here, getting married, wants to settle here in Texas. He's from North Texas, and he wanted to be here. And the Texans, before he can get to free agency as one of the top offensive linemen available, they get it done. So Nick Caserio negotiating overnight with Nicole Lynn from Clutch Sports, and they get this business done. And that's not the only thing that's gotten done so far today. Defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, a key mentor to all-pro defensive end Will Anderson Jr., and a disruptive interior force as a defensive tackle, someone that really has gotten better and better each time that he's been here with the Texans. So 2-year deal, and $12 million of it is guaranteed. It's overall larger. I was hearing $17 million to $18 million for Rankins, and had a bounce-back season. This deal negotiated by Matthew Pope and Bill Johnson. This will make Will Anderson Jr. very happy. Had a resurgent year after dealing with viral meningitis and major health problem in his one season with the Cincinnati Bengals, and now back with the Texans. Played every game, 44 pressures, 3 sacks, 5 tackles for losses, scored a couple of touchdowns, 35 tackles. Just a strong overall interior force. Texans have some interest in doing some other things, hearing about Wyatt Teller, hearing about Cade Mays and Braden Smith in free agency. We'll see how many things that Nick Caserio gets done. But basically running it back with a lot of their own players with extensions, including Danielle Hunter, $40.1 million on a 1-year, and a 2-year, $13 million extension. 2-year new deal for EJ Speed, as well as re-signings of MJ Stewart and Trent Brown, 1 year, $7 million. So after being a playoff squad the past 3 years, the Texans want some continuity, and they're getting that. Other candidates for extensions include kicker Kaimi Fairburn and, of course, linebacker, Pro Bowl linebacker Aziz Al-Shire, and the big kahuna, the big deal that we expect this offseason to become the richest defensive player in league history for Will Anderson Jr., who was a finalist for NFL Defensive Player of the Year. And we expect that deal to eclipse Micah Parsons' $46.5 million annual average with the Green Bay Packers. I see him doing very well on this contract. It wouldn't shock me if it was close to $50 million in average per year. And, of course, part of a much larger overall structure. But the big payday is coming, just like it did last year for Derek Stingley Jr. under a 3-year, $90 million extension in new money. And now Will Anderson Jr., he's on deck. C.J. Stroud, probably 5th-year option this year. That's what we've been hearing all along. And then they see how it goes and then think about extending him if everything goes right in 2027. So we'll see what happens. That's one that bears watching. And the Texans, a lot of activity early and often. And, of course, the big trade that we talked about last week with David Montgomery in and Joe Mixon out. And then Titus Howard traded to the Cleveland Browns, and they create a lot of salary cap flexibility along the way. Lots of restructures, lots of deals, lots of things happening. Keep it locked at KPRC2 and www.click2houston.com.